picture. I've been working, spent the last 45 minutes trying to make this work. And it's not working. I'm not having any luck. But then again, using the phone, I can walk around and show stuff easier. I'm not stuck to one spot. Well, I've been working on videos, but I'm also trying to get cars diagnosed and fixed. And then I cut some hay this morning and it got rained on. So that's all this junk I'm dealing with. I have several videos. Several videos that I have a couple like vlogs, basically just real random stuff that I've recorded and everything, kind of like that last one I put up. And then I'm working on two. Oh, it's more than a few videos. I've made videos and I'm trying to stay up on them. I need to write down everything for them and then work on them one at a time. But it's fresh in my head, so I always attack it and go after whatever I can. So, let's see, what do I have? You guys saw my short. I've got a Jeep in here. I'm doing a clutch on the Jeep. I got to do an oil pan as well. And I was machining the flywheel. That flywheel was worn out. Or not worn out, but it had a lot of hot spots, but it's got big tires on it, so go figure. The Jeeps tend to always have big tires, and nobody really changes the gears. That way they can actually accelerate and stuff easily, so you end up slipping the clutch a lot. I've got a white Explorer here. It's got most likely AC system has failed. I thought it was a leak. It was a little low on charge, and would explain why it was a little low on charge. What I found then after is you would drive it and the AC would quit again. Well, once I put gauges on it and it was a hot day finally. It was several weeks ago when it first acted up, when it was cooler out where I live, and I put gauges on it and it was hot. The engine fan, radiator fan was going, and my pressures were starting to get up on the high side in the 400 range. So that's telling me there's probably a clog in the system somewhere. What else? I don't know. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. I got another F-150 here with AC. We still got this Camaro. I'm getting parts for it here randomly. I've got a lot of the parts for it, but I need to get it back in the shop actually. But I think, what was it? Weeks ago, I'd said in a video, or no, it was that last live video or vlog, whatever it was. I'd said I needed to get a black Super Duty in for a head gaskets, heads, and studs, and all kinds of other stuff. It's just unreal the amount of work I've had, and it's the little jobs that I've gotten that should go pretty quick that have turned into a major headache. Well, I'm stuck right now on this white Explorer is the AC. I have an AC machine that I bought. I bought that used, and I forgot what brand it is. Oh, it's a Snap-on. Old Snap-on. And I bought that at an auction, I think it was. Or did I get it from Marketplace? A couple of years. And there's a place in St. Louis that can fix it, but it's getting it up there. And anytime I tend to go to St. Louis, it seems like it's on the weekends for like a ball game or something. Anyway, what I was getting at was my portable AC evacuation setup there. I have a hose that is supposed to go from the evacuator, basically the pump, to the tank. It's a black hose that connects them so it pumps into the tank, and I can't find that thing anywhere. I don't know where I used it last. I have taken that with me to evacuate systems at the shop that's car collection. So I'm wondering if it's sitting there, but I thought I would have grabbed it and taken it with me. So it's just stuff like that. The other F-150 I'm looking at, that one is losing charge, so it's got a leak somewhere, and it originally came to me over a month ago. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. With what was it? Air wasn't blowing out of the dash. So they thought that was the only problem. Well, once I fixed that, that just needed a blend door motor. Once I got that in, the air was not cold, and I found that the system was low. I charged the system. The only thing I saw was the stray valves were leaking. You could tell they were leaking. So I replaced those, and I sent it back to the customer and told them to let me know, what happens if it starts blowing hot again. And in a couple weeks they told me it was, so I'm figuring, and I put dye in it, so it should have, if I have a leak, it should show. And it's not, I can't find a leak anywhere. I've checked at the drain for the evaporator. Must be all that cutting hay being out in the sun. Yeah, I don't know on that F-150 what's leaking at all. I don't know. I do have a couple other. Well, I've got one 6.0 coming in. It's got a big flatbed dump bed on it, and that one is, what was it? What did he say? It's smoking a lot when it's running, and it's using coolant. I forgot what else he said it was doing. Something weird that I have a feeling it's either got a cracked head or something weird is going on with it. So I got to figure out where the coolant is going. It's overheating, smoking from the exhaust, and yeah, that one I need to have towed out here. Had another person get a hold of me that needs 6.0 work, so hopefully I get that one. I got to do a quote for them and see if they're interested in doing that. What else? I want to get on my King Ranch, but I mean, you guys are going to say I'm never going to get on it, and I'm going to have to agree with that. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to get on that. I really want to get on it soon, but all these projects are just taking longer than I'd originally thought. Mainly because it's a battle right now, and I didn't think I'd run into this running my own business. But I hate running. I live, I'm about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on traffic and other stuff, outside of Jeff City. And so that's where the closest parts store is to me. I'm out in a pretty rural area. And for me to get parts for something, I try to make one trip, maybe 2 trips a day. So I try to look at vehicles, get an idea what I need, and then run to town, grab what I need, or order parts and grab things. And that way I can come back, get some work done, and it's only, I'm only doing 1 trip a day, save on gas and time. But just the way things have been lately, I'll have to make 2, 3, 4 trips into town to the parts store, and you don't get much done doing that. And just the amount of just running everything, doing all the paperwork myself, all of the behind the scenes stuff that you don't even think, working in a shop anywhere else, you don't think twice about. You're just like, I could do this, it's no problem. Yeah, I thought I could too. I mean, I'm doing it, but it's you don't have a whole lot of free time. So um, that and editing videos. I'm not the quickest at it yet, and I mean, I can edit a video quickly, as you've seen some of the videos that I've put up lately. I can punch out a video pretty quick, but it's boring. So there's no music. I don't add any other stuff. It's just the camera sits in one spot. It might get moved randomly, and that's just a very boring video. So I'm hoping to these videos coming up. I'm hoping to add more information, more value to the video. That way, it's enjoyable to watch. Like I said in my vlog video, I want to put a video up that I enjoy watching. And if I enjoy watching it, hopefully more will enjoy watching it. Whereas a lot of the ones I've put up going over repairs, they're not real enjoyable to me. I mean, I enjoy repairing things and sharing that with everybody. But if I don't enjoy watching the video, it's hard to expect anybody else would enjoy it. I've got my cat that was, oh, there he is. He's been roaming around. While I was trying to get ready, he kept jumping up on my lap. That is Jerry. We have a black cat as well, both males. And the black cat's name is Ben, and the orange cat name is Jerry. Ben and Jerry, like the ice cream. We don't particularly like it, but my wife, we knew we were getting two cats, and she wanted names that were like a pair. Like we thought about Tom and Jerry, but thought that was kind of weird that it was a mouse and a cat. I don't know. I think it would have been fine. She thought for a while pork and beans. She really wanted pork and beans, but we bring them in at night, and the last thing I wanted to be doing is yelling pork and beans, trying to get the cats in. So Ben and Jerry's a little easier. Ben's easy to get in. He's the funniest. What was he? I think 17 pounds when we weighed him. Jerry is like 7 or 8 pounds, so he's small. And Ben, he just likes to hang out by the house, rolling dirt, and he's easy to get in. He doesn't go too far. Jerry likes to wander. So, yeah. So I'd hate to be yelling pork everywhere. Everybody thought I was probably talking about a pig. Well, there's one person on here from Alberta, DF Repair. Hey, how you doing? Hope everything's good up in Alberta. It's pretty nice here. Sunny. It rained earlier, and actually this morning it was overcast most of the day, and then I was waiting. I didn't get started cutting hay till about 10:30, and I was waiting to see if it was going to rain. I kept watching the forecast, and then it showed the rain getting close, but then it moved away, so it didn't actually hit us. And that cell didn't hit us. Sunny and warm. That's good to hear up in Canada. Boy, that place can get cold. It gets cold here. We'll get some weeks or two where it's in the negatives in the wintertime, but I'm sure you guys see that on a regular basis, and I may say it gets cold, but that's cold. But I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather actually go further south where it gets warmer. But so this morning it didn't rain whenever I was cutting hay, and then what was it? I got done around 1:30, I think it was. 12:30. Anyway, it was about 3 or 4 hours that it took me to cut. And so then I go inside, get something to eat, rest for a little bit, and I start hearing thunder. And I start looking at the radar, and they're calling, or then it's saying that it's supposed to rain this afternoon. And I'm like, it went away in the forecast. Why? So it wasn't a heavy downpour. It was just like, I don't even know if you can see the ground. You can still see some cracks in the ground. Everything. It's not a heavy, but it's not completely dry. So hopefully my hay is still in good shape. Hopefully I'll be raking it tomorrow, and I am making videos on it. It's not extremely exciting, but it's something I can pump out for you guys to see. Just show you what I'm dealing with, what I'm doing, and I don't think I'm going to get much off this first cutting off my front field. I have 2 other fields, but there's a lot of weeds in them, and I don't think I'm going to actually cut them for hay this year and sell that. I mean, if I did, I'd probably focus it towards people with sheep and goats. I do have some customers that buy my hay for that, so I just need to make sure whatever I pull off those fields would be for sheep and goats, because they'll eat about anything. And my customers have said they like it, so I guess it's a way to recoup. I'm trying to fix my fields, get rid of a lot of the weeds, and make it just a nicer fescue. And I planted clover this year, but sadly I was hoping I was going to get the weeds kind of taken care of a little bit already, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to, which I don't really want to use herbicides, but I think I'm going to have to with the amount of weeds I have, because I already burned some areas where there were weeds. Well, the weeds came right back. So I don't know. I think herbicides are what I'm going to have to use. I talked to a local place that can sell me or rent me a buggy with, liquid fertilizer and herbicide in it. And they said I could probably do it on those back 2 fields here in a week or so. So I need to do that. I need to go get some of the weeds and take them to them so they know what I'm actually battling. But it's going to be quite a few different weeds. I don't know I wonder what everybody else is running into with 6.0s or cars. Seeing anything at all? Anything interesting? I don't know. I get kind of bored with fixing stuff anymore. It's either a pain and it's hard to figure out exactly what it is, and then it turns into something that's just regular thing, or I don't know. I don't see I see some diesel work, but just not near as much as I used to. But I also used to do work for a car lot years ago. Well, that's been 4 years now. Where he sold a lot of diesels, and so I did a lot of his diesel work. And there's not as many 6.0s running around. A lot of people, I think they're in a point of they're changing hands, and so that 6.0 owner may sell, and so now you no longer have that customer, and so you have to constantly keep up. And that's kind of why I do this, hopefully to educate people. And I have gotten customers locally by doing this, so yeah, works out. Okay, what else? Oh, over by that cedar tree, I got this bed for my King Ranch. I think it was last fall, and I got it free. There was a guy that he couldn't sell it. He couldn't get anybody to buy it. And so a friend of mine knew the guy, and he said, if you come pick it up, you can have it. So they loaded it on my trailer, and I didn't have my tractor at the time. So we just rolled it off the trailer to be able to get it off the trailer. And so it was sitting over there for the longest time. Well, I was actually able to move it the other day, and so I figured I'd pick it up and set it right. That way it doesn't rust from the top or anything, being in the contact with the ground. Everything's still in good shape. I think what I'll probably do is get rid of the gooseneck ball there and put in a new setup. I think what I may do is put a hitch on the truck. Like I'll basically use a new, what is it, the 2011 to present trucks have the structure that bolts to the frame. That or a B&W. I'll do that, and then I'll just leave the hole open. That way you don't actually hook to the bed, you hook to the frame of the truck. I feel like it'd be safer. So that's the plan, and I think I'm gonna do the same with a hitch. This one's got a hitch built on, but I think I'm going to cut it off and use the factory hitch and just build a bumper, I think right here. And I don't know, we'll see. It may, actually, that may hang down far enough. Okay, DF repair. My 6.0 is parked, no oil pressure. Oh my gosh, yes, I can relate to that. Customers' work comes before yours all the time. I mean, if I had a big enough shop, I would have my truck in there. You know, say I had 4 or 5 bays, I'd have my truck sitting in there and work on it here and there. That's actually my goal with this shop over here. You can see the deck posts and everything's still standing. Water softener from the old rental house. So you can see the foundation. And so this is like a 30 by 50 something. I think it is. I can't remember. But we're gonna have to come out further in the front, and then it'll come towards me. And I'm pretty sure this flag I had in was a 40 by 60. And so it'd make that quite a bit bigger, but I've decided I want a 60 by 60. And the problem is I need to take down these 2 trees. And the one thing that's slowing me down right now from doing this and starting on the shop is to save money, I want to do a lot of the stuff myself. I was quoted $40,000 by one concrete company to do all the work and pour, and I was quoted $45,000 by another, and that just blew me away. And then the building is going to be in the $63,000 range, and I don't want to be in debt that much. I'm not making enough income between my wife and I. We're not making enough income to want to take that kind of chance, because it's used to take an account of then my insurance is going to go up because a bigger building. It's just like you get a nicer car, insurance goes up. Heating's going to go up. Cooling it in this, I'm going to try to. I don't know if I want to get air conditioner. That way it keeps it comfortable. Like I can do that in my shop now, and I want to do all that stuff. Well, it's all going to go up whenever you get a bigger shop. So I don't want a mortgage payment. You know, I don't want basically paying for another house and get in trouble that way. So what I have saved up and everything, I got a hold of another concrete guy that's, we're friends. It's a friend of a friend. Anyway, he came out and I talked to him about it, and I said I have no problem paying him anytime he comes out or helps, but I'd like to be able to do a lot of the work myself to prep for it, to save. And he's like, yeah, that's no problem. And he said he would do my footings I'd have to dig them or find somebody to dig them, and he'd do the footings for $2,500, and then labor. I think it's just labor. No, I can't remember. Anyway, he said 25. I'm not dead on exactly what that's for. I don't know if that was labor or not. But then he said for the pour, and I'd do the backfill in that foundation because we're going to do the slab on top. he said he'd charge $1 a square foot. So I don't know. That's awesome, right? You still got an IDI running. That's awesome. Whenever I was at the dealership, I was one of the only guys that knew how to work on those, and we randomly would get them in. I think the last one I ever worked on was just a regular truck, nothing fancy, just a regular cabin bed, and it wouldn't start. And the more I looked into it and the more I messed with it, I wasn't getting any return fuel on the injectors. And so I think what had happened was, I think the truck sat long enough and gummed up the injectors or nozzles. And so to be on the safe side, we put all 8 nozzles, return lines, no, I think I reused the lines because I think you can. Anyway, new injection pump. And I think I think those had the lift pump in the Valley, if I remember correctly. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. You own one, so you'll know. But I did all that, made sure I had fuel coming from the tank. We emptied the tank and put new fuel in it. Thing ran great, started right up. That was actually a pretty good running truck. Does yours have what is it? Do they have the Banks Sidewinder kit? Do you have that on your IDI? Because I know that helped those out a lot. I remember I had to drive, there was a couple companies that had the IDIs in vans that I think they were using them all up, and they were still using them up in like 2010. I remember working on them, and those things were gutless, and I'm sure a turbo would help out a lot. Stock, it was surprising to me, and talking to all the old timers that I worked with, they said that the diesels barely sold. The only ones that people really wanted when they bought diesels, because I think at the time they got better fuel economy than the gas trucks, but the gas trucks made more power and would actually get down the road quicker. So I don't know. It's even hard to believe that they'd even sell something like that, but I don't know. I think at the time diesel was so much cheaper that you saved in that aspect of it. Always starts. Well, if you drive it on a regular basis, or you at least start it, yeah, most of the time, anytime the injection system goes bad on those, is because somebody let them sit or just kept putting crap fuel in them. They just didn't maintain it. So, but I think those were designed with, I don't know what kind of fuel you guys have in Canada. Farmers are running fuel at quarter the price. Yeah. Years ago, you're right. They could do that. I don't know what, up in Canada, I don't know what kind of fuel. I don't know if you all follow the same fuel as we do in the US, but we have the ultra low sulfur diesel. Well, that has less lubricity than the older diesel. And I forgot when that went into effect. I want to say it was in like 2006, 2007 range, because I remember them talking about it with the 6.0, or maybe it was earlier than that, because we started having injector failures in the 6.0, and I think they were suspecting that was causing failure. But then I remember it might not have been that early, because I remember during the 6.4 Power Stroke, we would get service messages or updates on things, and it would stress ultra low sulfur diesel. I don't know. I think they had said that the older diesel could cause the DPF to clog quicker. 2003. That sounds about right. Yeah. Somewhere in there. So, but I don't know. It's hard to believe that that's even a good thing. I forgot what they said the sulfur content, why was that such a big deal? Was it for the emission systems? Now I want to do some research. What are you doing? You can come say hi. You're wet. Smell like a wet dog. What are you even getting into? Who knows? Let's go look on the computer. Look into ultra low sulfur diesel. Why? What the advantage is to ultra low sulfur diesel. Clogged exhaust. That's what I was thinking. It didn't. If I remember correctly, it didn't play very well with the emission systems. Okay, Google says ultra low sulfur diesel fuel allows the use of advanced technologies to reduce harmful pollutants. The use of catalytic converters and particulate filters can be utilized to nearly eliminate nitric oxide and particulate matter emissions. Okay, so when did diesel fuel? EPA began regulating diesel fuel sulfur levels in 1993. Beginning in 2006, EPA began to phase in more stringent regulations to lower the amount of sulfur in diesel fuel to 15 parts per million. This fuel is known as ultra low sulfur diesel, but it doesn't have the lubricity. Yeah, computer and shop step away. Like me and an acreage. And computer and shop. What do you mean? What else can I learn here? Bugs. That's done. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same for me. Yeah, it's for us that helps out a lot on working on anything. But we do have kind of a leg up whenever we're constantly fixing other people's stuff. So when we have something fail, it's makes it a lot easier. Don't exactly want to work on it because we're not getting paid, but it makes it easy. Kind of. I had an issue with my F-150 a couple weeks ago. Check engine light set, and whenever it's set, it would kind of go into limp mode. And I'm making a video on it, but it was my own fault, basically. I created the problem. What else? What else to talk about? Well, it's just now been 35 minutes. I think I've pretty much gone over everything that I can think of as an update. So I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to keep working on videos, try to get some videos out this week for you guys. At least one. The one video I'm working on, should I give a little spoiler? Yeah, it's on 6.7 Power Stroke, and it's a dealing with the fuel system, and it kind of deals with what we were just talking about, the ultra low sulfur diesel. So I'm trying to take my time on that video, take the footage I have of working on the vehicle, doing the repair, and I'm trying to add in more information, more stuff. That way it's more enjoyable to watch. You stay engaged, because that's with some of my stuff, you get to watching and the camera sits in the same spot and I'm bent over something working, and it's boring. So I'm trying to make it better. I do know that a lot of people enjoy, or at least appreciate, my videos where I talk about actually repairing something and I still want to do those kind of videos, and I may do videos where it's a good repair video, but it's kind of boring. And I may do 2 separate videos to where if you're wanting to get kind of technical and some more information on, see what I had to take apart or what I had to do to figure something out and diagnose it, I'll have a video for that. And but then I'll have a more entertaining video. That's kind of my plan long term, is to do something like that. But yeah, so I'm working on that 6.7 Power Stroke video, and that is the main video I've been working on. I'm just having to reshoot things and do a lot of stuff to make it more entertaining, so to where I actually enjoy watching it. So that's my main goal, is just to make these videos way more enjoyable to watch. I could pump out a video a week or more, but again, I don't know. I'm just repeating myself. Thank you, DF Repair, for being on here. I actually had somebody to talk to, so thank you very much. Anybody else watching this now, I appreciate you clicking on the video and catching up, see what I have going on and what I'm updating over, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks a lot. I'll see you later.